Join Bert and I as we begin to wrap up our 16-day road trip through 8 states. Day 13 finds us in Hodgenville, Kentucky, where we'll visit Abraham Lincoln's birthplace, as well as his boyhood home. A quick stop in Bardstown, Kentucky, where we'll stroll the beautiful grounds of my old Kentucky home state park. And then it's off to Louisville Slugger Museum in Louisville, Kentucky. Bert and I will wrap up our day at the historic Mariemont Inn in Mariemont, Kentucky, which will be our home base for a couple of days. Coming up on This is going to be the cabin where Abraham Lincoln was born. We'll get a little bit more of the story as we go in there. I think they did some DNA, so they built this huge memorial. I forget the year. We'll get that in a second as well. And they found out later that by DNA testing of the wood, I guess, that it wasn't actually from that time frame, maybe earlier or late, a little bit later. So quite the memorial for not his official cabin. We're at Abraham Lincoln's birthplace here in Hodgenville. You see the building behind us here in Hodgenville, Kentucky. And they say that the building inside is not the actual building, but from that time era. They thought it was when they originally bought it, or found it. Yeah. But they were DNA testing. Apparently the wood didn't match up for the year that he would have been born. It's a little bit maybe newer. I don't know. But everything about this building is pretty cool. You see those columns there? Let's take a peek, a little walk. There's going to be 16 of these columns around the building. And then there's also 16 windows. And then on the ceiling, there are 16 florets. I guess you would call it that. That's what I'm calling them right now. Pretty ornate. We're inside the memorial of Abraham Lincoln's birthplace. And the building itself was, a cornerstone was laid in 1909. It was dedicated a few years later and became a national park, I believe, in 1916. And this is his boyhood cabin. Now it's a representation of the boyhood cabin. You can see it there.
But from very old wood at almost at that time.
Yeah, so they call it, the National Park Service calls it a representation. And so it's from that time era. So the wood is old, and it's still neat. But they erected the memorial, thinking that this was his original birthplace home. But we are on the grounds of where he was born. Everything in here is including the windows. There's 16 of them, as he was the 16th president. And if you look up on the ceiling there, there's 16 florets. And then outside of the building, there's columns of the memorial. And there's 16 of those too. Ooh.
Yeah, and how many steps?
I don't know.
Down to the...
I don't know if that was 16. It looked like there was more, but maybe is it 16?
56 steps for his age. When he died.
Okay. I didn't. Oh, well. Prove me wrong. Yeah.
You listen sometimes.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. So you can see the outside of the memorial is the windows up there. So yeah. And here's some of the columns that we were talking about. There's going to be 16 of those guys right there around the building. Yeah, 56 steps coming up here, representing his age when he was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth. You wouldn't think they would do landscaping on Sundays. You can see. Here's the building itself. Oh, we missed the cornerstone here. Yeah, okay. Let's go over to that.
And I think this is a cornerstone.
Yeah.
There's a time capsule.
Right, yeah.
In here, if I remember right.
Yeah, they put that in 1909. I think that's when the structure was probably put up as well.
Right.
Yeah. It's a representation, but it was in that era. Maybe a little bit newer than when he was actually born, which was February 12th, 1809. This was cornerstone was laid in 1909, which would have been his 100th birthday. Bert hates that when people say that he would have been 100 years old. No, he didn't. He died. He never would have been 100 years old. So we continue down the steps. 56. The memorial of Abraham Lincoln's birthplace. So, cabin itself, again, not original, but of the era, the area is. We're going to see some springs here. Oh, see a squirrel with something in his mouth. Not there, over there. This is a sinking spring, where Thomas Lincoln, Abraham's father, decided he would plant himself and his family, his wife, and Abraham's older sister, because of the water that was available here. So we're in the actual birthplace of Abraham Lincoln. Going down the steps into the spring here. Young travelers would come by here and actually dip into the water themselves. And it said that he would have, Abraham Lincoln, Abe, would have drank out of this spring.
This was his boyhood area?
No, it was his birthplace.
Right.
They still said that he would have, I don't know, I think he moved when he was 2, something like that. So, could have very well actually
Come down with
put
Daddy.
his lips up to it. I don't know. Yeah. That's the Nancy Lincoln Inn back in the background there. And it was built in 1928 as the tourism started thriving here with the dedication and building of the memorial of Abraham Lincoln's birthplace. And it was built by a man named James B. Howell, not to be confused with Thurston B. Howell III, which is more famous than James B. Howell. You know who the Thurston B. Howell III is?
Thurston III.
Yeah. So it's a oh, very nice. It's a private home now, I guess, here on the grounds, though. But yeah, so it's pretty cool. And just wrapping up our trip here at Abraham Lincoln's birthplace here in Hodgenville, Kentucky. And you can see the structure up there. The memorial cornerstone was laid in 1909, dedicated a few years later, became a national park in 1916, I do believe. I could be wrong on that one there, but yeah, it's a nice little visit. The grounds are beautiful. The sinking spring. Thomas Lincoln, Abraham's pops, bought this farm, so to speak, where the sinking hole spring was, for 200 doll hairs.
Wow. And so many acres to go with that, you know?
Yeah, I don't know how many acres, but
wow. Cool.
Yeah, it is cool. So we're going to be off to his boyhood home. I always get that messed up. So that's where we're going next, and we'll see a little statue of him in the town square there. Town square of Hodgenville, Kentucky, and there's a statue of a young Abe Lincoln. Always a bookworm. He was I remember the old painting with him in front of the fireplace as a young man. And then the statue of him as president in his hometown of or his birthplace town of Hodgenville, Kentucky. Cool area. Getting ready for it's still summer, but all the autumn, fall, Halloween type of decorations are already coming out in the towns and the hotels and so forth. First trying to figure out how to spell something there, I think. I don't know. So we are at Knob Creek, where Abraham Lincoln spent 5 of his boyhood years, from 2 to 7. And this is a representation of the cabin that they would have lived in. His dad, Thomas, leased the land here, unlike where he was birthed, which he had bought 220 acres. That was in dispute, and so he came over here to lease the land until that dispute was settled in court, and he lost. And so then he upped his family and moved him to Indiana. So this would have been typical of Abraham Lincoln's home, you know, with a fireplace, a wooded window, and I guess this would have been the type of dress that his dad would have wore. Not dress, but the clothing. One bed. It must have been crowded here for 4 people. They would have had this older sister, a couple years older than him, and mom and dad, and himself, and then Thomas Jr. passed away shortly after birth. Nice visitor center here on the grounds as well. Well, I think that takes care of our Lincoln tour for today. And we're going to head off to Bardstown now and take that in. And I think I mentioned it before, we're going to try to get to Louisville Slugger Museum and Factory there. And that's the name of that tune. We're in Bardstown, Kentucky, and this is the old Talbot Tavern, established in 1779, I do believe. That's what it says on the building anyway. So we're kind of in downtown Bardstown, second oldest town in Kentucky.
Wow.
And this roundabout's really busy. Take your life in your hands there, I guess. Well, it says and gift shop too, so shall we? Of course, this is what Kentucky is famous for, is the bluegrass and horses and Kentucky Derby and bourbon. We have Steve Foster over at my old Kentucky home. Mansion here where you can take tours, beautiful grounds. Generally there's music playing. I think they stopped it because we knew we weren't going to pay for the tour. And I think it was he was visiting here and wrote My Old Kentucky Home, and it became the Kentucky state song, known for Old Susanna and all sorts of songs as a composer. And if the music was playing, we'd know that right now. So we're going to tour the grounds here. It's the Spring Building. And this is the mansion on my old Kentucky home. I'm not sure who owned it. I'm not going to do a tour. We're just basically here to enjoy the grounds for a bit. We're going to go to Louisville and go to the Louisville Slugger Museum. That's if we make it on time. If not, I think we still have time tomorrow to do it. Or even Tuesday. Yeah, so it's cool. Always have the music of Stephen Foster playing in the background.
Yeah, let's go see if we can hear some.
Yeah.
How about?
No. Huh?
I was thinking another song, but no.
Yeah. Old Susanna,
I
my
know,
old
I'm just
Kentucky
saying.
home.
Oh, Susanna is one
Yeah.
of his? Yeah, that's all.
It's the only ones I'm thinking of, but there's a ton of them. Usually they have to do with the South and so forth. My old Kentucky home was, because of this, where he stayed. That's where he got his inspiration to write the song.
And then he stayed at the mansion back there?
Yeah. But I guess it was Judge John Rowan's house. $17.95, I don't know. Bert took the picture of the sign, so we'll add that later. On the grounds of my old Kentucky home. This is where Stephen Foster, the great composer, of the 1800s, I think it was, and got his inspiration for my old Kentucky home, which is the state song of Kentucky. And here's a statue of him on the grounds. Beautiful grounds. I don't have enough time to spend here trying to make it to the Louisville Slugger Museum in downtown Louisville. It's sort of 15 minutes away, and they close early on Sunday, so trying to get the tour and get a free bat. Not of the flying type, but the type of bat. Speaking of bats, yikes. All right, we're at the old Kentucky home where Stephen Foster, the great composer, got his inspiration when he stayed at this home out there, little mansion out there, and wrote My Old Kentucky Home, which is the state song of Kentucky. So we're going to be heading toward Louisville. And you can hear the music in the background. Can you hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Squirrels abound in this area here. And you can check out the grounds here. It's beautiful. Not me. Well. There's beauty at its best. Or is that Beauty and the Beast? I don't know. So my old Kentucky home here in Bardstown. All right, let's go to Louisville, shall we? Louisville, Kentucky. Look what we got here. Gotta be the world's largest bat, huh?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Our longest, largest. So we're just spending a short time here in Louisville, mainly for the Louisville Slugger Museum. And
that beautiful building too. Not that bad.
Yeah.
Ooh, doggy.
You wonder who the signature on there is actually the guy that started making the bat. So I guess he deserves his signature rather than
I would say so.
mine, or I probably should have been a baseball player. I would have been good at it.
I think so.
But
The guy that started all that was 18 years old with the bat
yeah.
when he designed and said, "Let's do this."
Yeah. Oh, here, let's do this. Now, I don't know if I caught that or not, but the Louisville Slugger Museum and Factory.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
we're in the Louisville Slugger Museum in Louisville, Kentucky. We just saw the bat tour there, and no video allowed, but here's some of the all-time greats. We got Hank Aaron, Roberta Clemente, we got Joe DiMaggio's bat for his 56-game hitting streak that'll never be broken. That's the one they say that will never be touched. We got Ted Williams. I don't know about the look of Ted Williams there. I don't know. The other ones are pretty accurate as far as what they look like. Lost to young, died in a plane crash. That was Roberta Clemente, of course, the great Bambino. And then a lot of people's favorites, Derek Jeter, and then the man, Ken Griffey Jr. What a guy. Mariner, Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame. One of the best ever.
These are baseball bats used by the pros, and Greg's going to pick one out so he can hold it.
Edgar Martinez.
All right, he's got an Edgar Martinez.
Alright, so whenever you hold the bat in 2 hands for me, you can only touch the silicone grip here that we applied to it. We do that so you can't get the natural woes of the hands on the woods. Preserves longevity of it. And then please do not swing it, drop it, or hit it on the ground, okay?
Alright, he's holding the Edgar bat. Yeah. Let me see.
Downtown Louisville, Kentucky. It's on the pretty close to the waterfront here. And our main attraction here was the Louisville Museum. And there's one big bat there. Must have been either the Jolly Green Giant's bat or Paul Bunyan, I'm not sure. I bet you it was Paul Bunyan because he could have formed it out of an axe. Yeah. Pretty cool. Well, I guess we're Cincinnati, Ohio bound. Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati, Ohio.
You can take me out for dinner?
Sure. Well, good afternoon. We are just outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati, Ohio. And this is our hotel room. I wouldn't call it a hotel room. It's kind of like a boutique hotel. It's called the Mariemont Inn here in wherever we are. There's actually, it's a planned community. The hotel was built in 1929, I do believe, something like that. And very nice. It has a little bit of a fireplace here, and the paintings are nice. Bert pointed out that's what our, well, it's the Mariemont Inn. You can see it right there. That's what it looks like on the outside. I'm sure we'll get some videos and pictures of that, if not today. We have 2 nights here, actually. Going to the Ark and then the Creation Museum in the next couple of days. Nice headboard, as Bert pointed out. Nice king-size bed. More artwork. Desk, very nice. Look at that, they got a split garbage there. One for recycle and one for your normal garbage, I guess. Real glasses. Nice chest of drawers there. The view's not even that bad of this planned community out there. Ice cream. A little nice settee. And the bathroom is pretty nice as well. In this corner. Hey there. And nice shower. Notice that, and of course this is an exception being a boutique hotel. Most of the hotels, when they revamp them, remodel them, they're taking bathtubs out and they're going to just strictly showers. Being that it is a boutique hotel, kind of the one problem is I can't watch football tonight because there's no no television. I can't find a TV anywhere in sight. They might have to go to video only, have it shipped to them. Oh.
Excuse you.
Yeah?
Let me show you. See the fine picture?
I see the fine picture.
Press of a button.
Wow.
There is your go-to.
Isn't that sweet?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
All right.
Well, down below here, a little atmosphere.
Yeah.
In your own room.
How sweet is that?
Can't get any better than that.
No, that is too cool. Yeah. Well, now I can watch the Seahawks.
Let me turn this down.
There it goes. I don't care because
Goodbye.
they are losing. I already checked the score. Thanks for playing.
Sure.
Let's say you get up in the middle of the night and all the drapes are closed, lights are off, and you have to use the facilities. And that's usually a real toe cracker. I've broken a toe that way before, I think. See? Look at that. That's what happens. You just walk, you get your feeties out of bed, and the light pops on just like that. And then it'll slowly fade out.
Slowly fade out, does it? Really?
Yeah, it did. It'll still stay on. I don't know
foolish.
if it gives you enough time to go to the bathroom or not, but
I like that.
yeah. Some of us take longer to go to the bathroom than others.
A lot of times,
See
there's
it? It's
hotels
already
I
faded
forget
out.
which hotel I'm at, so I go like this in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah. Kind of like Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
We're at the National Exemplar in Mariemont. It's outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. And we decided to have a French dip. How's it tasting?
Really good. Really cheesy. The bun isn't hard and tough.
Yeah.
And the potato salad is yummers.
Oh yeah.
They brought us champagne.
Just gone.
It's good.
Oh,
It's
huh?
a really good
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
And it's outside and the weather temperature is perfect.
And if you just be quiet a little bit, you can hear the crickets in the background, isn't it?
I know.
It's like being at the New Orleans restaurant there in the Pirates of the Caribbean in Disneyland. The firefly is going. That's all we need is a firefly. I think I've seen one. And we're going to go on the road and go see the Ark Encounter. It's about, 49 miles away from here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Like I said, join Bert and I in Williamstown, Kentucky as we explore the fascinating Ark Encounter on the next Out and About with G&B Unedited.